Today we're making one of the most impressive desserts you can serve with only 6 ingredients in about 30 minutes from start to finish. Chocolate molten lava cakes that are rich, decadent, and ooze pure chocolate when you cut into them. I used to work at this restaurant that served this like giant, bigger than your face molten cake for dessert. Oh my word, that thing was a force to be reckoned with. Now don't worry, these are individual sized, but I do guarantee they will be a force to be reckoned with. A rich, warm cake with a molten chocolate center. I mean, what's not to love? There's no fancy tools, no complicated steps, just melt, mix, bake, and devour. Whether it's Valentine's Day, date night, or you just really need chocolate, these are for you. For these cakes, you only need butter. I like unsalted butter, but salted butter will also work. You just want to omit the added salt. Good quality chocolate. I use semi-sweet or bittersweet. I like Ghirardelli or Guitar. You don't want to use chocolate chips though, unless they're high quality, because they don't melt as well because they contain stabilizers. So real chocolate bars are going to melt more evenly and give you better lava. You'll need 2 eggs and 2 extra egg yolks. You want them at room temperature so that they whip up fluffy and so they don't seize up the melted chocolate. Just place them in a bowl of warm water for about 10 minutes before you start. You'll need some granulated sugar, but also powdered sugar could work. Just a little bit of flour for structure and a pinch of salt. And as an optional ingredient, you could always add a little bit of vanilla extract or instant espresso powder. So let's get to it. You'll first start by preheating your oven to 450 degrees. We want a nice high heat so that they cook fast and set the edges, keeping the centers nice and molten. Then you'll prepare the dishes. You'll need to grease 4 6-ounce ramekins with butter, and then you'll dust them with a bit of cocoa powder. This is gonna help the cakes release beautifully. You really wanna rub that butter into the nooks and crannies, and then liberally dust with cocoa powder, making sure to shake out any of the excess. I don't recommend dusting it with flour, as then it'll leave like a white film on the outside of the cakes, and they won't look as pretty. Now, if you don't have ramekins, then you can totally use a muffin pan. You'll get 6 lava cakes. They'll be slightly smaller, so you will get 2 more. You'll just wanna bake them for a little bit of less time, about 8 to 10 minutes. Now, once the ramekins are prepped, you can go ahead and place them on a baking sheet so that they're easy to move in and out of the oven. Now, over a double boiler, or you can use a heat-proof bowl, set over a pan with 1 inch of simmering water. Make sure that the bowl isn't touching the surface of the water. You'll melt the butter with the chopped chocolate until it's silky smooth. You can also do this in the microwave in short bursts. Just stir in between each burst so that the chocolate doesn't burn. I like to microwave in about 30-second intervals. You want to set that aside then to cool slightly before adding it to the eggs later. Now, in a separate bowl with an electric mixer, or you can use a whisk, you'll beat together the eggs, extra egg yolks, sugar, and salt until light and fluffy. You want to beat on high speed until they are thickened and pale in color. Now, because there's no baking powder or baking soda, we are relying on the air incorporated during this step to help the cakes rise and get that beautiful texture. Then you'll add in your melted chocolate mixture to your egg mixture. Now, if your chocolate is way too hot when you add it to the eggs, it can scramble them. So that's why we let it cool slightly, or you can also try tempering it, meaning just adding a little at a time. And then gently fold in the flour just until combined. You don't want to overmix. We aren't adding a lot of flour here, it's just a little bit for structure. And remember, the more you mix, the tougher and chewier the cakes will be. So stop mixing once the last of that flour streaks have been mixed in. A few lumps or air bubbles is normal, and that's it. Spoon the batter into your prepared ramekins. If you want to take these molten cakes to the next level, you can customize them with adding some favorite fillings. Try adding a little bit of peanut butter, Nutella, jam, or even a spoonful of caramel right in the center. Here's how I do it. Spoon about half of your batter into the ramekin. Add about 2 teaspoons of your chosen filling into the center. Top with the remaining batter, making sure that the filling is covered. When baked, the cakes will ooze that extra layer of gooey goodness alongside the chocolate. Seriously, it's like next level indulgence. And then it's time to bake. You want to bake these for about 12 minutes. Now, here's how to tell when they're done. The edges should be set, but the center should still wobble slightly when you gently shake the ramekin. You can also test by inserting a toothpick near the edge. It should come out mostly clean, but a toothpick in the center should come out with wet batter. Now, if it's underbaked, a toothpick inserted into the edge will also have wet batter on it. One overbaked that has no molten core will have a clean toothpick if it's inserted into the center. What we want is a soft edge with a molten middle that pours out when you cut into it. Some of the cakes may start to rise above the ramekins with sharp edges protruding. The edges don't always protrude, but if they do, then that is a sign that the cake is done. You want to let them cool for about a minute and then you'll flip them out onto the plates. Now, to remove these, you want to loosen the edges with the tip of a knife and then just place a small plate over the top and invert the ramekin. Now, when you cut into these, the chocolate flows out just like a restaurant-style molten cake. You can enjoy these as is or serve them with a little powdered sugar on top, a scoop of vanilla ice cream, or some fresh berries. You can make the batter also up to a day in advance. Just place the batter into the molds and then cover with plastic wrap, and just store it into the fridge until ready to bake. Just remove the plastic wrap, allow them to come to room temperature, and bake as normal. These chocolate molten lava cakes are proof that a stunning dessert doesn't need a long ingredient list or hours in the kitchen. If you loved this video, hit like, subscribe, and if you haven't already, let me know what chocolate dessert you want me to tackle next. And until next time, happy baking.